Hello everybody and welcome back to another edition of Ruttan Design. Today we're going to be working on the Adobe Illustrator program. I'm going to kind of run through some tools. Basically this one though is just going to be covering the Shapes tool, a little bit of the Shapes Builder, and a little bit of the pen. If you're new to Adobe Illustrator, I'll show you some of the tools here along the side. This is my toolbar that I use. It contains selection tool, magic wand, lasso, pen, type tool. We got the curvature tool, line tool, shapes. This will be one of the main tools that we're looking through today, as well as the shape builder tool down here. All these other tools will come into play a little bit later, but they're a little bit complex for what we're doing today. So today we're going to make this chicken figure that my daughter seems to really like. He's become a hit in the household. He doesn't really have a name other than he's the chicken man. So this is what we're going to kind of design today. He's a really basic shape. And like I said, my daughter absolutely loves him for some reason. So I decided this was a good one to start with. So to start here, we're going to look at the layers. This is my original over here. These are all the items in the layer. I drew him really quickly before the video started. Unlike some of my other more detailed work that I've done, I haven't labeled anything really in it. Just because like I did a variation of the actual chicken man that I do. He's basically looks the exact same, but he's a little bit more complex, has a little bit more shading and such, which we can do some at the end of the video too. You should always get into the habit of labeling everything within your layer. For instance, I'll just label this one here the body. I'll use correct spelling. It just makes it easier if you're going through your work to actually find it again, especially as your drawings get more and more complex. As you can see over here, now that I actually selected the body of the chicken, blue square has lit up here to let me know also that I'm actually on that particular path. So for this one, we're going to start a new layer. We'll call the layer Chicken 2. And we'll just begin, just jump right into it and get going. So the first thing I like to build on this guy, I like to build the body. So I come over here, you'll see a polygon tool. If you click and hold, it will actually open up all the tools in there. Illustrator is good because it actually gives you the shortcut next to the tool. So if you wanted to just jump to a shortcut there, you can just hit the L button on the back. So we'll start off, we will make the chicken's body. That's about a good size there. So once you create a shape in Adobe Illustrator, you can go back up here to do the selection tool or just press the letter V. Over here in the appearance bar, I like to make this changes the line stroke, and this one changes the fill of the chicken. So if you want a blue chicken, green chicken, there's a simple little palette here of colors that you can add more to later on. For the purpose of this video, we're just going to make the chicken white. Now, for this chicken guy here, we're going to start by, we're going to do this red part here, is the top of his head. This is where, about the only spot on this one where I actually use the shape builder tool. So to make this, what I did was just use 3 circles. Copy and paste, Command C and Command V. You can line them up really however you want to. If you want to make one stand out a bit more, we'll give this guy a little bit of a mohawk. Just like that. Okay. Now, you can see here it's got all the lines there. which obviously you don't want that because he doesn't have those in there. So for that, we go down here to the shape builder tool, Shift and M. And before we do that, actually, we'll select all three. So you can either hold down the Shift button and click, or just press down your mouse and drag, and it will select everything. Then we go over here to our shape builder tool, and we basically just draw a line through the line that we want to make disappear. Great, and now it's all one shape. We go back over here. We will change the color of that to a bright red. Oops, that was a line. That's actually okay though. I'll show you why. Now, as you can see, you lose part of the chicken. So what I like to do here is, easy way to do it, over here in the path menu, we'll just call this his hair. You can actually just click and drag it, and now it's below the actual body of the chicken in the order of appearance. So now to do the inside color, we can again copy that. Command C, Command V. We go down here. We're going to take away the line altogether. We don't need it. We'll choose a darker color, red, or any color that you want as you're following along. And we're just going to move that up into here. And we'll call this guy hair 2. And again, we want that below the body, so we'll drag that down. But we also want it above the larger amount of hair, so we make sure we don't drag it all the way down. Alright, so you can see he's kind of starting to come together. So the next thing that we will do is, while we have the circle tool selected, we're going to build his eyes. And then after you have your eye shape and you're happy with it, again, Command V. Now, I don't really want it to be like a demon chicken, so I'm going to give him black eyes, just like the one above. There are other ways to also change the colors. You can do it over here. I just prefer to do it this way, especially when I'm doing a detailed project. It's something that I become accustomed to, having my appearance bar over here in this area, and I just grown accustomed to it and like it. That's what's comfortable for me. But again, feel free to do it any way you want to. And then we're just going to move the eyes of the chicken over here. And again, there will be a few things that we can add at the end to make them look a little bit better, but we're just trying to do a simple design with shapes and just kind of try to get used to the program. So for our next tool here, we're going to make the chicken's beak. So we're going to start with the polygon tool. And the interesting thing about the polygon tool, unlike the other tools, it actually has a bar right over here where you will see a plus and minus illuminate when you put your mouse over top of it. This allows you to actually change the size, or not size, it allows you to change the number of sides on the shape of the polygon you're doing. You can go, for our purposes, we want a 3-sided shape to make his beak. But you can go all the way up to 11 sides. So it comes in pretty handy. So we have the beak there, basically. Like I said, we're going to use a triangle for that. We'll move it over here. Obviously, we're going to have to scale that way down. So you want to grab the corner here. If you want to maintain the perfect triangle, you're going to hold down Shift, and it will maintain a perfect triangle. For my purposes, I kind of wanted to squish it a little bit, but not a whole lot. So if you need to rotate, you go to a corner till you see that arrow, and you can rotate all the way around. You can also go to the rotate in the object section up at the top here and rotate that way, or use a command, but I just find it very simple to do it that way. Alright, we'll make his beak yellow. We'll give his beak black line. Once you pick the black line again, this allows you here over here to change the weight of it. And we're going to crank him up to 7. I want him to look very cartoony, and I want him to look like my daughter likes him. And then we're just going to come over here. We're going to build the chicken's legs next. So for those, I just use the rounded rectangle tool. As you can see there. I like the way that that looked. There's also the option here, if you built a rectangle and you see these dots in the middle, you can actually expand and contort your shape any way you want to. That looks about right. And we'll just put that right down here. Now I'm going to copy and paste this leg again. We're going to drag it down here. And for this one, we're going to change the color of it. As you can see here, there really isn't a darker yellow. This is where I tend to use this shade over here a bit more. And then I can just kind of pick a darker tone of yellow through here. Hit the OK button. That's probably a little bit too dark. That's fine for now. Now, if you wanted to, like again, you could drag this leg so it drops all the way below the body. If you also want, and you know that your object is going to go to the back, you can hit the arrange button here at the top, which I will show you when we do our next shape, and it will send the item to the back again. Now for this little chicken's tail here, we're going to use a pen tool. And we're just going to make a shape however you want to. And we'll give that the red color as well. Now once your shape is built here, you can get a little bit fancy with it to round it out if you wanted to. You can select the object that you wanted. You can add points and delete points. And as I was talking about before, another way to put the object in the back, because we can obviously put this one all the way to the back, we can go up to Object Arrange, Send to Back, or up Command Bracket. And now it's in the background. And we're going to add a black line around there too again. I didn't realize that I had missed that, just to give him that more cartoony feeling. And we're going to add one more line here. We're going to kind of make a wing. Now, as you can see there, it filled up with color. If you're doing something with colors like that, it will kind of default to that. So what I'm going to do is going to go over here to fill. This line right here with the red, or this box with the red line through it here, hit that and it will just make no color. So that way your line is just your line. And that is it. That is a very simple vector done on Adobe Illustrator of a little chicken man. Like I said, my 2.5-year-old daughter absolutely loves him. If you wanted to get a little bit more fancy, because it was a pretty simple design, you could do things like make a small circle like this. Just give him a very cartoony look and feel to him. Even more so, we could add more shading similar to this. Throughout the chicken, you could add some grays. I'll do that right now. You could use a paintbrush tool for that. What we're going to do here is just kind of zoom in on our chicken, just so we get a nice good view of him. You notice here when I'm building the shape, what you want to do is you want to see that circle by the crosshairs. That way you know that your line is connected. We're going to take away the stroke to be none, and we're going to give this just a tone of gray. I'm going to go on my curvature tool here again and start adding some points. Not that way. We'll zoom back out here. We'll hit the Z button and the Option key. Just tap your mouse. That allows you to zoom back out. And that actually gave our chicken just a little bit more depth. Some shadowing on the backside there. Or maybe it looks like he's wearing now some kind of a pants system, like a Speedo or something. Anyway, it's a chicken here. He's, like I said, my daughter loves him. He'd be great for little kids' books. I hope you all enjoyed the video today. Feel free to follow me on social media, Ruttan Design on Facebook and Instagram, as well as my YouTube channel here. And check out ruttandesign.ca for my website, and has some of my other items in my portfolio. Thanks for watching.